20 most disrespectful dart moments. These are the top 20 most disrespectful moments in professional darts. And coming in at number 20 on our list, we got a celebration so disrespectful it made the crowd go silent. Here's Gerwyn Price after hitting a 180 against Peter Wright. Price screaming in Wright's face, arms spread wide, veins popping out of his neck. Peter Wright just standing there like, really? That's disrespectful, but that's Gerwyn Price. What's even more disrespectful is number 19 when Gary Anderson refused to shake hands with Wesley Harms mid-match. Harms extends his hand for the traditional handshake, and Anderson just walks right past him like he's invisible. Wesley standing there with his hand out looking like a fool. Disrespectful. But an even worse moment has to be number 18 when Michael Van Gerwen hit a 170 checkout against Rob Cross. Van Gerwen with the bullseye finish. Not only did MVG hit one of the hardest checkouts in darts, but this man flexed and screamed directly at Cross afterwards. Too damn, that's cold. Now, a crazy checkout isn't the only way to disrespect a player. Sometimes the disrespect comes from what you do during their throw, like number 17. Pay attention to Adrian Lewis and Raymond Van Berneveld here. Adrian coughing loudly right as Raymond's about to throw. Raymond turns around, stares him down. Adrian just shrugs like, what? You're talking a lot for someone who can't handle pressure. That hurts, man. Now we gotta talk about Phil Taylor because this man's been dominating and embarrassing people for decades. But his most disrespectful moment comes in at number 16. What's really disrespectful about this clip is that Phil Taylor doesn't just beat Dennis Priestley. He averages 110 points per turn and finishes the match in 11 minutes. Phil Taylor just demolished the entire arena, acting like it was a practice session. I want to see a competitive match. Thankfully, we got number 15 with Jelle Klaasen. He checked out with double 12 and stared at his opponent for 5 full seconds. He hesitated, stared at him, didn't even retrieve his darts. Oh my goodness, I lost my thought, man. That is the most disrespectful stare down I've ever seen. But that's not as bad as number 14, when Simon Whitlock threw his darts at the board so hard, one actually stuck in the metal. Yeah, pay attention to this throw right here. That's a regulation dartboard, and Whitlock was so angry at losing a leg that he decided to destroy the equipment for literally no reason. The dart is literally embedded in the metal frame. This dude is throwing darts like he's trying to kill someone. You're a professional. You're over here damaging tournament equipment, standing there mad for no reason. Come on, man. But trust me, this is far from the most disrespectful equipment incident because we got number 13 when Mensur Suljovic took over 45 seconds per throw against Michael Smith. Suljovic checking his darts, rechalking, adjusting his stance. The referee literally having to warn him multiple times. Smith just standing there waiting, losing his rhythm, and a warning from the match official. This one moment literally defined that entire match. I mean, just listen to the commentators talk about it. The worst thing about this is, every time Suljovic steps up to the Oki now, fans are timing him with their phones. And I'm like, come on, I thought you came to watch darts. But not every moment has to be this calculated to be disrespectful. Sometimes a player is just sensitive, and they get offended easily. Just like number 12, featuring Kyle Anderson. When Anderson missed a crucial double and his opponent James Wade smiled, Kyle sees Wade smiling and completely loses it. James Wade said 0 words and barely reacted, and Anderson gets all in his feelings. Ridiculous. But coming in at number 11, we gotta talk about how disrespectful Peter Wright is. See, back in 2021, Wright had some beef with Dimitri Vandenberg, and after hitting a 180 against him, Wright Wright was feeling himself and decided to disrespect not only Vandenberg, but everyone watching as well. Peter Wright doing the Cobra celebration for 15 straight seconds. Who the hell does Peter Wright think he is? How the hell are you gonna be dressed like a rainbow unicorn and stand there like you're Floyd Mayweather? I feel disrespected right now. You haven't earned the right to gloat that long. But at least Wright didn't literally walk through someone's throwing line like Ted Hankey did in number 10. Hankey walks directly through Andy Fordham's eye line. Andy's mid-throw when Ted just strolls by like he owns the place, and Hankey shrugs it off. A chance for Andy to lose focus completely. Andy got a whiff of that disrespect. I'm surprised a fight didn't break out, like when Gary Anderson went out of his way to knock over Raymond Van Barneveld's drink in number 9. Anderson, walking past the table, swipes Raymond's beer. The drink spills everywhere. What an outstanding display of pettiness. Oh, and then Gary walks away. They have to be separated. The leg had kind of ended. Anderson started to walk past, and after knocking the drink over, he said something to him. Raymond waited a bit, then when he realized what happened, he confronted him. Come on, man, that's messed up. But hey, at least Anderson didn't straight up throw darts while his opponent was still in the board, because that's exactly what happened in number 8. Jalla Clausen still retrieving his darts, and then Adrian Lewis starts throwing. Lewis throws a dart that nearly hits Clausen's hand. Clausen jumps back in disgust. The referee warning Lewis. Does Lewis not know what sport he's playing? You can't just start throwing while someone's hand is near the board. The hell are you thinking? Alright, now we've been looking at a lot of recent disrespectful moments, but for number 7, we gotta take a look at a classic when Phil Taylor completely humiliated one of the toughest competitors darts has ever seen, Bobby George. George stepping up for his throw, Phil Taylor yawning behind his back. Bobby turns around and sees Phil literally yawning during his turn. Phil smirking in the face of Bobby George, who did not appreciate it. That was Taylor's answer to George's slow play style. Spectacular disrespect. And he yawned again for emphasis, and Bobby didn't like it. As any player wouldn't like, this man not only yawned once, but twice during Bobby's turn. I'm honestly surprised this didn't turn into a fight. I mean, we've seen fights break out just from a little comment, like number 6, Peter Wright and Gerwyn Price exchanging words. And afterwards, they said they were not happy with how the match finished. And now, we're going to have a dust-up. Wright and Price arguing, officials stepping between them. This moment is extra disrespectful because Wright was legitimately just trying to leave the stage, and Price decided to follow him and say something. What the hell was he thinking? But that confrontation could have been way worse. I mean, just take a look at number 5. Van Gerwen appeared to hit a 180. Nobody disputed it. Then Cross challenges the score. Oh no, Van Gerwen and Cross exchanging words. This is going to cost someone the match. Van Gerwen was nearly tossed out of the match against Cross. Remember the tension they'd had all tournament? I don't know what Cross said to MVG, but clearly it was disrespectful. Alright, we're coming down to the wire here, and it's time to ramp things up with number 4. Michael Van Gerwen's celebration after beating Michael Smith in the World Championship Final. Van Gerwen hits double 16. Won't miss. Title secured. Van Gerwen drops to his knees.
Thrown 200 remaining. Could leave 20 after 9. He's going for a 48. This.
Literally everything about this clip is disrespectful. The celebration itself, the fact that he's screaming while Smith is still on stage. MVG pointing at the crowd like he's a god. I mean, this is just disgusting. But if we're gonna talk disrespectful moments, you can't leave out Wayne Mardle. This man has had moment after moment of trash talk and gamesmanship. But nothing is more disrespectful than number 3, when Mardle refused to let his opponent finish his interview. Mardle walks into the frame during James Wade's post-match interview. Wade's trying to talk to the press. Mardle starts waving at the camera, making faces. Wade stops mid-sentence, completely thrown off. The interviewer tries to ignore Mardle. Wayne just standing there grinning like it's the funniest thing in the world. Come on, man. Let the man have his moment. Now for number 2. We've got the moment that changed celebration rules forever. Gary Anderson hits a 180 against Phil Taylor in the Premier League. Anderson celebrates, walks toward Taylor's side of the stage. Phil's getting ready for his turn. Anderson's celebration goes on for 20 seconds, standing right in Phil's peripheral vision. The referee has to physically move Anderson back to the side. Taylor visibly annoyed, shaking his head. This moment literally got the PDC to implement a rule about celebration zones. But the number 1 most disrespectful moment in darts history has to be when Eric Bristow told the entire crowd that the match was over before it even started. Bristow walks on stage for the World Championship final against John Lowe. Before a single dart is thrown, Bristow points at the trophy, then points at himself, then mouths, "Mine," to the crowd. John Lowe standing there watching this, and Bristow hasn't even won a leg yet. The confidence, the arrogance, the pure disrespect of telling your opponent and 10,000 fans that you've already won. And then Bristow goes out and actually wins the championship. That's the most disrespectful moment in darts history. Not because of what happened during the match, but because he called his shot before it even started and backed it up. Legendary. But you know what else is legendary? Some of these disrespectful moments were so bad, they actually forced the PDC to change the rules. I mean, we had players exploiting loopholes, throwing darts recklessly at opponents, and Phil Taylor literally breaking the sport with his dominance. There was a whole lot of rule breaking going on. Look, if you're interested, man, then you need to click on this video right here. These are the dart players that forced rule changes. So, what are you doing? This video's over, dude. Just click it. Right there. You see it. Right there. Click the video.